Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitted for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same.
Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross.
Yeah, man. I just felt passionate, man. I love the intro, you know what I mean? But this is a continuation, and I wanted to keep that same energy. Continue a little bit. And me, my bro here, Angelo, sitting here talking about, 154 more conversations. 154 is probably the hottest division in the space right now for boxing, as far as conversations are concerned, right? I mean, the heavyweight got things going on too, and we could talk about that as well a little bit later as well. Let me do one thing here I did not do before. Maybe Ray might want to come up. I forgot to send him the link.
But definitely 154 is the most dangerous. I mean, in terms of just how many people are good. I mean, Brandon Adams just beat Bochuk for the second time, right? So he's in there. And again, man, you know me, I'm always defending the across the Atlantic or outside the US fighters, but Abbas Baru doesn't suck, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he just needs signature fights. He just needs to be tested properly. That's all. I think Yoenis was a great fight.
He beat Yoenis Tellez, right? Or Yoenis Tellez, who was being touted as the next great, Cuban talent and won a world title against a former. So,
yes, he just needs more. That's it. That's all it is, right? You just need more. And you're a champion. He's going to get more. His next fight, I mean, we can segue into it, right? Because the big conversation
will probably be Boutinas, bro.
That's what I'm saying. The big conversation at 154 right now is Jaron Ennis, and everybody trying to figure out what Jaron is going to do. Shout out to my brother Blue Blood Sports. We talked about it in depth a little bit. You know what I mean? And just talking about his next fight, Jaron Ennis' next fight being a big fight. We know what the space wants. The space wants. They want Jaron and Virgil next, right? But we also know that Virgil has options on the table, clearly, right? Virgil 100% has options on the table, and the question is what direction he's going to go in. And I think also, I don't know if I got your opinion on this, if we've spoken since then. We probably have. I'm not too sure if we've spoken. Have we spoken since his Jaron in this fight?
No, this is the first time we're talking since the Jaron.
Okay.
You did the show at Blue Blood. You did.
Yeah, no, listen. That being said, I can't even believe that. I mean, we can get right into that. First of all, I'd love to hear your opinion, what you thought about. Well, I mean, what you thought about the event in general, but just what you think about that fight?
Event-wise, Eddie Hearn is the best, bro. He really knows how to put together an event. And again, you have to understand how to be a boxing fan in order to appreciate a boxing show like that one, right? And I say that so people can understand what I'm talking about. So I have friends who are casual fans.
Right.
And those guys are like, bro, just get me to the main event. I don't even care about the other fights. Okay. Then there's people like us who are trying to, kind of like an NFL fan who's watching the draft, and we're watching the scouting reports, and we're watching college football games, right? The preliminary fights for Eddie Hearn's card on both Matchroom events, but the one in Philly showcased us 3 very young undefeated talents in Zaquin Moses, Harley Medeiros, and oh man, I'm forgetting the young man's name right now.
Giasoli Vizioli.
Yeah, thank you, Giorgio Vizioli. Right?
He's a talented fighter, bro.
Yes.
So I was telling people like that kid right there is nice.
Right. So we're more hardcore, right? Like we're aficionados, is what you would say, Clay. Right? We're really like diving into it. We're studying things and all the time. There are people who are not as not like us on it, but are definitely not casuals. They're a lot more hardcore fans. And to the hardcore fans, that's an introduction to them if they didn't know who Vizioli was. That's an introduction to them if they didn't know Harley Medeiros, right? A lot of people are getting a lot of traction knowing who Zaquin Moses is, mainly because of the relationship with Shakur Stevenson. But let this kid stand on his own 2 feet. Because Zaquin Moses, bro, I dare say, he's giving me Floyd Mayweather vibes, man. like that kid's gonna be good as he continues to move up. So I very much
got a real good test, a real good litmus test. He had a fighter who's not just trying to get, he stood in there and he was gonna fight him. You know what I mean? And I thought it was worthwhile for him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And he's the one that's been talking about. He already beat Carmel Moten in the amateurs, but he's been talking about it. Eventually, they'd like to fight. And then when you got to the main card, all right. So let me just set this up for everybody who didn't get a chance to see it. Please go on to DAZN or go on to YouTube to rewatch the fight that Matchroom put together in Philly, where the Philadelphia Flyers play. Great event. I think it was over 10,000. The opening bout, Claymore, was Joseph Diaz versus the American kid. Why am I forgetting? Is it Richardson? I think I'm gonna have to look it up now.
Dennis Thompson.
Yes, thank you, Dennis Thompson. Right.
Mm-hmm.
One kid was 9-0, the other kid was 7-0. They're both 20 years old. For that to be your opening bout is a statement, right? And I'll tell you who the statement was directed at. It was directed at Dana White. It's like, bro, this is what you're going to be doing. You, Dana, are going to be doing this, where you're going to take 2 20-year-olds who are undefeated. You're going to pit them up against each other. It's going to look good. It was a great 6-rounder, and somebody is going to get a loss, but both fighters will move on. See how I've already been doing it this whole time? It's just that when I do it, I make it the opener to my main event, and then I give them a great fight like Jose Roman on top of that versus Smalls, right? And then a heavyweight fight that was super exciting and competitive in Guido Vianello versus Alexis Barriere. Remember, I picked Vianello to win that one. And then Boots Ennis. Now, that is a very well put together show. It shows you the level of promotion that Eddie Hearn knows how to do. I hope that Dana, I know he knows how to promote UFC fights, but I hope that he has a team or himself dive into the boxing culture enough to understand, all right, man, if you're going to do this contender series like the Underdog, you got to do it like this. Bang, 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 bang. Like, right. So like I told you, I was at the first Underdog fights. It was amazing. If they do the Dana White fight cards like that every time, then that'd be great. And then the Boots Ennis fight, bro. I mean, it always sounds like I love Boots Ennis, but I do. I think he's the best, dude. I think that he's just gonna, the next 10 years will prove to everyone that the next Roy Jones Jr., you're staring at his face right now. His name's Jerron Boots Ennis, right? He makes it exciting. He wears fancy uniforms, right?
Yo, my God, Cheese in the building. Yeah. We still here, baby.
Edward Cheese.
We still here, Cheese. We still here growing, man. Man, bro, the sponsor to this show, man. Man, salute, family. Thank you for the love, man.
Hey, Cheese, I got a funny story for you, Cheese. So, way back in the day, and it was during the time that Dave Chappelle was away from TV. He would come to Oakland, he would come to the Bay, test out his sets before he put himself back out in public, right? And got a chance to meet him, got a chance to have conversations with him. And a couple of times gave him a ride. Was giving him rides from an Oakland club to his hotel, the Four Seasons. So the funny thing about Dave is his Four Seasons name. So I don't even know if this might be you, Dave. I don't know if you remember, but if it is you,
Dave who?
Charles Edward Cheese. Well, anyways, here's the story, Clay. Let me finish the story. So if you wanted to get a hold of Dave Chappelle at the Four Seasons in San Francisco, you would go to the front and then you would say, "Can you please call Charles Edward Cheese for me?" And then it would dial up to his number. And then you, hey, Dave, right? So that was his pseudo name, is Charles Edward Cheese, was Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't think it's Dave though. It's not Dave.
Yeah.
But nah. Shout out to Cheese. Man, really helped me build this channel, man. That so much support, man. And I appreciate you so much, bro. Ain't seen you in a minute though, family. But I know, you know what I mean. I know God knows, you know what I'm saying, how busy you are. But salute to you, man. Great to have you in the building, man. I want to tap into this conversation and continue. You know how we do, Cheese. We're gonna keep it moving, man. Thank you for the love and the support, man. And stay around, man. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, listen.
Cheese.
Yeah, listen to this.
What did you think about? I haven't talked to you in so long, and so much has happened since the last time I spoke to you. But I don't want to get all over the place, right? I want to keep it right here with the Jaron Ennis conversation. First of all, Jaron Ennis moves up to 154-pound weight class division, Cheese. He fights against Usama Lima. Are you okay with that? I'm personally okay with it.
I'm happy with it.
But I want to know what Cheese feels about that. Was that the worst thing in the world that he could have done? Like, I don't know. You put it in the chat, Cheese, and let me know. Was it the worst thing? Was it the worst thing in the world that Jaron Boots Ennis could have done? I don't know. I think.
Look, man, I think it was fine. Okay, look, and believe me, I take heat for it too, Clay, because I defend Boots, to so many different people, right? So I get the narrative. Oh well, who do you do? Lima, it was easy fight. It was just, first of all, it's boxing. None of those fights are quote unquote easy. It wasn't like Lima wasn't training for it. And again, care or not care, but Lima was the IBO champ. Now, having said that, I won't know what it would have looked like if Lima fought Bochuk, or if Lima fought Brandon Adams, or if Lima fought Fondura, because I haven't seen that. All I saw was Boots Ennis put on a performance that night. This is no different though, bro, than, I don't know. I mean, like, why are people not getting on Sebastian Fondura the same way? You know what I mean? Right? Like, why is it that it's like, let's pick on Boots, let's bully Boots, but let's not talk about how everybody else is moving at 154 pounds, right? So that's what I mean is I feel like he's getting robbed of what Eddie Hearn is essentially doing, which is he's talking to Boots like he's the next Sugar Ray Leonard. And honestly, if I'm a mainstream fan and I didn't know boxing as deep as we do, Clay, I would be like, oh my God, I love that guy. I think he is the next Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what I mean? So I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, Clay. I'm not as critical on it.
I think people put so much weight on the value of the fighter that he got in the ring with. I don't sugarcoat stuff like this, right? In other words, I don't think Lima should have been in the ring with Jaron Ennis. He clearly, by the way, hindsight shows that this guy just didn't belong in the ring with Jaron Ennis. I mean, he just was dominated in a way to where you can see that Lima had no chance of winning that fight and really have no answers and no business being in the ring with a future pound for pound or current pound for pound, however anybody wants to look at he had no reason to be in the ring with somebody who was in the conversation of being in the ring with the face of boxing in Terrence Bud Crawford. And it is as ugly as that sounds on a surface level. It's not throwing shots at Usama Lima. It's a reality check. Even Usama Lima later on spoke to Jerron Ennis in the locker room and just said, he just shook his head, was like, brother, you just fucking better than me. Like he just had no answers. Like I have no interest in a rematch. Just no reason for anything. That was just a ridiculous experience, right? That was just a ridiculous experience for me as a fighter. But I think that there's also absolutely nothing wrong with Jerron Boots Ennis getting a tune-up. I think the biggest problem with the whole entire situation was just the inability of the space to play with the idea that this man wanted to acclimate his body to the division. He wanted to compete and wanted to make sure he was ready for the division. And most people would say, duh, of course you're ready, but isn't it isn't it his right to do that? What's the big deal? My thing is, what did it hurt? Like she said, if we're going to see the fights anyway down the line, who cares? It's the end of 2025. He's going into this division and trying to make sure he's on point. He wanted to give a performance that kind of set the stage a little bit. Like, yo, you see how I'm carrying it. He gave everybody the same energy I think Brian Norman gave the welterweight division when he knocked out Jin Sasaki, right? Like he just kind of made himself. He just made himself the most relevant thing in the division. Like, and then he did the thing I thought was the most important in the fight, which was he called the names, like Mike Tyson said, right? He called all the names. He called Virgil. He called Jamel Charlie. He called Xander Zayas. He called Bakram. He called anybody who's anybody in the division and said, all my next fight, I want all those guys. I'm going on tour. And I thought that was one of the most important moments in that whole event, because to be honest with you, Jerron Boots Ennis has always said he wanted to become a champion and be undisputed, but I think he really took, for the first time in my opinion, he took the helm and took control of his career and said, this is what I'm here to do. I'm calling everybody out, bro, and let's make it happen, right?
Right,
you know what I mean?
right. No, and again, like, see what you made my point for me too, where when I was saying, why are people picking on Boots? And you're right, Cheese, it's because we know he's good. I understand. But for example, no disrespect to Jin Sasaki, right? No disrespect to him at all. He was ranked number 2, right? How is Jin Sasaki's performance against Brian Norman really any different than Boots fighting Uisma Lima, who people were also not familiar with? Because remember, I was familiar with Jin Sasaki, so I kind of knew what was going to happen, right? Because I know Jin Sasaki's style. But that's my point, is what would be very interesting to me is if we end up watching Uisma Lima in the next 3 months, he fights someone else at 154 and gives that person a hard time. Now we're going to look back at the Boots performance and go, yeah, see? Boots just, it's not that he's fighting nobodies. He's just making them look like they nobodies. I
don't think Usama Lima is a nobody, but I just don't think. I think there's levels to this game, and no, sir. And shout out, she said, was this really a tune-up? Nah, it wasn't a tune-up. It was what Jerron Ennis wanted. It was an opportunity to make a statement. It was an opportunity to do something exciting at 154. He wanted to make sure he felt great. It was all about Jerron Ennis and had nothing to do with Usama Lima. I'm on the other side of the conversation where I don't even acknowledge Usama Lima that way. It did what it needed to do for Jerron. Jerron don't need a tune-up in real time, right? But what I'm saying is, if he wants to have an easy peasy, lemon squeezy first fight, going into a division, having his first fight, and he wants to knock somebody out, boop, he just did it. It looked crazy. It got stopped.
Great.
He did what, like the wise man once said, he did exactly what he was supposed to do, right? Nothing less. And more importantly, he set the precedent for the next fights. He called out everybody. He put the pressure on, he took the pressure and he put the pressure on his shoulders. He put the pressure on Eddie Hearn's shoulder. He said all these fights need to be made. And in the post-press conference, Eddie Hearn followed suit and said, listen, it's on me. I'm the manager, bro. I've got to make these fights happen. We understand what it takes now. It's going to take money, right?
Yep.
It's going to take all these different moving pieces to make it happen. But more importantly, as a boxing fan, we got the confirmation of what we needed to hear, which was, I'm ready to make all those moves. I'm ready to do everything and all of the above to make that happen. It is what it is. Shout out to my guy, Warrior Class 3, man. showing love. Warrior Class, this is like the miniature cheese, bro. He's been holding the channel down. You know what I'm saying? Warrior Class in the people says, salute Claymore. This confirms I'm not Charles Edward Cheese. Yeah, I'm just saying that. LOL, but supporting ATB because Ennis did what he was supposed to do against Lima. Only 14 fights in. He was ready for that stage. Boots fought against a deer in the headlights. 100%, big brother. Yeah, man. I mean, that guy was out of his element. You could see it in Lima's face when he was walking to the ring. I know.
Yeah, the event was too big for him.
When he was walking to the ring, I was like, oh, you about to get it. I was like, oh, Lima.
Yeah.
Hopefully don't hurt. Hopefully it's more like a numbing knockout, like you don't remember, and you could just hope it's not painful, but clearly I saw what was on the agenda. But that being said, and moving on from it, I talked to my brother Blue Blood. We did the live the next day. Great live, by the way. Shout out to everybody who showed up to that live right there. And Blue was basically on the same time Cheese is on to a degree, just to say, like, listen, man, this fight shouldn't have happened. This fight was a waste of time. It could have legitimately hurt Boots' resume, or not resume, but basically his momentum that he built. I also heard that not a lot of people showed up to the arena. I heard it was like a 7,000, 8,000 show up.
Let me look up the figures.
I heard the
numbers. For Charles Edward Cheese, Clay, can you do the name thing? Remember we've done that before, the name, because he said where you show my name.
Where I'll do it right now. Yep.
Sorry there, Cheese. There you go.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking up attendance right now.
Right. So while he's doing that, this was what the argument was. Me, I'm good, right? And also Eddie Hearn made it clear that they're going on tour, right? This is going to be the last home show for a minute. They understand they got to take this show on the road. They can't get everything in their backyard, et cetera, because that's another thing that got in the way of these fights happening, was not only the amount of money that they had to pay out, but really a lot of the money they had to pay out had to do with all these fights had to happen on Boots' terms in his backyard. And now Boots is going on the offensive to say, listen, I'm going to go fight these guys, these champions. I'm going to fight them. I'm going to play the B side to a degree, right? I'm going to give these guys fights to where their fans can show up, fight them in their home cities if I have to. More importantly, I'm going to get these titles. And I thought that was the most important part of that Boots Ennis fight. It's not about Lima. Everybody makes it about Lima. And for me, it was just like, I didn't care as much as everybody else. 100%, it was not the fight I wanted to see. There's no doubt about that. I did not want to see Boots fight Usman Lima. I didn't even know who Usman Lima was until Boots, was fighting him. So I 100% didn't want that fight to happen. But at the end of the day, I made my peace with it, and I watched the fight, anticipating what was going to happen. I thought Boots looked great in that minute and 28 seconds. I thought the way he, hit, not get hit, worked that body. I love the way he was stabbing that body, controlling the distance. He took his time, and he got the guy out of there as soon as there was an opportunity. He didn't waste a moment, in Jerron Boots and its fashion. That being stated, the next big fight that everybody wants to see from Jerron Boots, and this is the fight with Virgil Ortiz. But we know Virgil Ortiz now fighting, and this is another point that my brother Blue was saying, was the part that's going to be tricky right now is that Virgil Ortiz fighting this fight with Erickson Lubin, and he's betting on himself winning, I'm sure. And if he does win that fight, he's directly in line for the winner of Keith Thurman and Sebastian Fondura. That fight, we know, got pushed off because of Sebastian Fondura having a contusion to his hand. So that being stated, Virgil Ortiz has options on the tables clearly, and one of the options obviously is to pursue becoming a champion. And what fan can't resonate with a fighter wanting to become a champion and making that the priority over everything else? And the argument Blue had was, well, damn, bro, you could have made this fight happen twice already with Turkey Al-Sheikh. There was one time you could have made this fight happen when you decided to stay at 147 and fight a Stanionis, right? Instead of going up and fighting on that big card and fighting Virgil Ortiz. And then there's another one. There's a rumor circulating in the space that there was a negotiation that Turkey did have the Virgil Ortiz fight on the table. Virgil Ortiz pretty much confirmed it and said that they were reached out to about that fight with Turkey, and that Boots decided to do the tune-up situation. Now, I'm going to do it. It doesn't fall. It looks like Eddie Hearn had locked down the date at the Wells Fargo Arena, now known as whatever the hell's name now. It's not that anymore. It's got the new name, but
Xfinity, I think. Yeah,
Xfinity or something like that, right? Or something like that, or T-Mobile, or no, was it Xfinity? I don't know. Whatever it is, right? At the end of the day, the fight wasn't Boots didn't take the fight, right? And basically now the politics of the sport may get in the way of that fight being next for Jaron Boots Ennis, and he puts that blame on Jaron Boots Ennis. I mean, how do you feel about that part of the situation as far as Virgil, first of all? And I'm also interested, is Virgil going to get duck jackets that he has to wear if he doesn't meet Boots halfway and make this fight happen next, or is he allowed to go without a belt without all that nonsense?
So it's just like even with music, all right, there's pop music, right? And then there's the different genres of music, and it depends on what you like, what your flavor is. And I think a lot of times what happens for us, Clay, is if you're listening to this channel or you're a hardcore, then you would be in the food world kind of like a someone who's a food critic, right? If you're not like me and Clay would probably be like the a food critic, right? And then you got everybody who's like a foodie, right? So then you pick apart every place that you go to. But to a normal person who doesn't get to go eat out that much, right? They see something, they love it, and to them it just tastes good. And to the mass public, that's what Boots Ennis is. He's this, you've been eating McDonald's X long, and then you go see Boots. And then you're like, oh my God, this is what a Michelin star restaurant tastes like. This is amazing, right? But then to us, because we've been to other Michelin star restaurants, we're kind of like, and not you and me, but I'm just saying just the space.
Right.
Okay? They pick it apart. They pick apart the fighter, then they pick apart. So I'm saying this because my setup is about Virgil Ortiz. If Virgil Ortiz wins against Lubin, and what Virgil Ortiz chooses to do is fight for the world title against Sebastian Fondura, that's his right.
Or Keith Thurman.
Oh, okay. All right. Sure, Clay.
Come on now.
Okay, anything can happen. You're absolutely right. Shout out to you, Keith. Nothing but love for you, brother.
We ain't gonna look past one time now. We ain't gonna look past one time.
We're not gonna look past you, Keith. But if I'm being honest, the cancellation happened, Keith. If I was you, I would just pull out of the Fondura fight, get yourself down to 147, and go get your rematch with Manny Pacquiao in January, bro. That's what I would do.
We'll talk about that a little later, but I'm thinking that is a legit out for Keith Thurman, who I know. Salute to Keith Thurman. But brother, you don't want to fight Sebastian Fondura.
No, what's the point?
You're not trying to fight Sebastian. Listen, bro. For whatever it's worth, salute to Keith Thurman. You ain't trying to fight him. You not, bro. You want the money. It's okay. Fight Manny. Manny, get you Manny. Get out the way of a towering inferno, and you know what I'm saying, and let Sebastian Fondura either get ready for the winner of Virgil and Erickson Lubin, or let Sebastian, unify against Xander or Bakram, or do something significant for his career. But listen, you got to hear from ATP. You got it specifically from Angelo, right? But that's your way out, brother.
Yeah.
Don't say we ain't never do nothing for you, but continue.
Yeah. No, so I say that because then people will do the whole, and I bet Eddie Hearn might do it too, but Eddie's pretty smart. He might not say it this way, but if Virgil wins against Lubin November 8th, he gets on a camera and he goes, well, what's next for me is I'm going to do what's good for Virgil. All right. He's going to say, I'm going to do what's good for Virgil, and what's good for Virgil is to become the world champion. And in fact, if I was in Virgil Ortiz's camp, I would advise him to say these exact words. Right. I would say, how am I ranked number 1 at Ring Magazine and I don't have the legit world championship? Right. That's what I want. So Fondura, stop ducking me. I'm the mandatory, just like Benavidez was the mandatory to Canelo forever. Stop ducking me. You're next. We got to make that happen. Now, that there's going to be a certain narrative, Clay, that people will go, see, that's Virgil just trying to not fight Boots because he knows he'll get whooped. Now, I won't say that, even though you already know what my prediction is. Right. My prediction is Boots is going to knock him out. He's going to destroy him. But to Virgil's credit, I would be like, no, if I'm in Virgil's team, there's no upside to fighting Boots other than money. But I can also make money fighting Fondura. The difference, though, is I can have a world title. If I fight Boots, there's no world title. So how about Boots, you go fight your mandatory, Abbas Baru. I'll fight my mandatory, or where the mandatories to our world title belts. Then let's go after each other. And then in the meantime, Xander and Bakram can work that shit out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for it, man. Shout out to J Pit City with the $10. Said the way Boots overshot that left, leaving himself open for the crazy counter and still getting that right uppercut, upper hook, whatever that was crazy work. I ain't seen anything like that since Roy. Yeah, man. And yeah, Boots definitely looked like Roy Jones in that fight. He was super athletic. But listen, man, while you're young, right? OG once told me, work as hard as you can while you're young, so you ain't got to while you old. So while Boots is young and agile and athletic, man, take those chances, man. That right uppercut, right up, you know what I mean? That way he kind of got underneath that left, that straight left, and he got caught, but he got under it mostly and just caught him with that up. That was beautiful, man. Put him right on his pocket, man.
It was like a samurai move, like two samurais cutting at each other, but the quicker samurai got his cut in first.
Yeah. Just precision, man. Shout out to Ray Davis. Says, I'm confirming I am not Sir Charles Edward Cheese either. No warrior class. I'm outside, though. For sure, Ray. Salute to Ray, man. Literary Pharaoh says, as fans, shout out to Literary Pharaoh with the $10 holler, says, fans, we have to stop making peace with fights we do not prefer. Okay. When the demand is fierce, the supply will change. The Lima fight was an effed up product. Fighters and promoters must be held accountable. I ain't mad at it. I
understand where he's coming from. I understand where you're coming from, Literary Pharaoh.
Right? I think that's fair, right? I think as fans, we reserve the right to hold promoters and fighters accountable for what they give us. That's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? We've been known to hold fighters accountable that a lot of people push back at us holding accountable, like Gervonta Tank Davis right now fighting Jake Paul rather than fighting Lamont Roach or making the bigger fight even with Shakur Stevenson. So I completely understand it's fair play that we should hold these fighters accountable. And I think Boots is being held accountable. I think by him announcing and calling out the fighters at the end of the fight was him holding himself accountable. Him saying, I know y'all don't want this. I get it. And I'm telling you, I'm going in a whole, I'm heading into a direction that y'all can respect. But this was for me. This is what I wanted to do, what I needed to do, the way I felt like rolling out whatever I got going on at 154. You know what I mean? Eddie tried to make some fights for me. Those guys didn't want those paydays that we were willing to offer them for a non-title fight on a non-pay-per-view event. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to take $500K, $350K. They didn't want to take those numbers. They wanted bigger numbers because they know I'm sort of a problem out here in these boxing streets. So this is the guy who's willing to take his little $250K, his biggest payday, and he was willing to make the fight happen, and it was more important for me to do that. But without a doubt, fans are well within their rights to say exactly what Literary Pharaoh said right here. And I think it's our job to do that. We are supposed to hold them accountable. But but for me in this particular one, and I do hold Boots accountable because I will not take anything less than a signature fight in his next fight. Anything less than a signature fight in his next fight. But this one is what it is, right?
Yeah, and Cheese, I agree with what you're saying too. Like, in fact, I spoke on it on the show when we did 2 hours with Ray just before this one, that there's a reason why Boots is so low on that ranking list at 154, right? And I don't mind that. He just entered 154. If you put him on the low part, that's fine. Virgil Ortiz is the clear number one because he does have the better resume. He has been tested more at 154. He has fought the harder fights. I'm just saying that with my eye test, you put those two together, man, I can't see Virgil doing anything to Boots, but I could see Boots do 10 different things to Virgil. Right. And that's the difference. And honestly, I'm so high on Boots Cheese that I think he smokes everyone in this division, except for maybe, I wouldn't call it smokes.
Xander.
If they pick the right time, it'd be Xander, because Xander's got length, he's got height, he's got the jab working for him already. He's young. So if you get Xander early,
he's got this too, right? D'Angelo,
yeah, he's
right
got
here.
The mind, yeah. So Xander's got it all. The problem with Xander, and I told you this before, Clay, the reason why I don't want Boots and Xander to fight so soon is Xander's still only 22, right? So I want him to get more man strength before him and Boots fight. Now Boots is 28, so maybe in
Xander might not get the man strength until like 160. I'll be honest with you. Like he's true. Kind of growing in a weird way. Like he's getting all tall, and he's like that kid that all of a sudden he's like, damn, what you mean? I just bought you those shoes like a month ago. Fuck you mean you don't got them? They don't fit. Nah, bro. Let me see. Try them on in front of me. Stop playing with me. You know what I mean? He's just having growth spurts, but the pop hasn't settled in with how big he's getting. So it's very interesting. L-Dub says, define signature fight. A signature fight for me is a fight that moves Boots along the path of the ultimate goal, which is become undisputed. That's the signature fight. A fight that helps him get that resume padded in the traditional sense to become a champion, to unify and ultimately become undisputed, or at least get together as many belts as he can at 154, because there's an argument there to say that Boots might have the clock on him a little bit at 154 as well, as he's still a big dude. Even for 154, he's still a big dude, right? Right. No, and I again, chat, I'm with you guys on it. We want to see these fights. It's possible that Xander and Boots never meet at 54, like what kind of Clay's talking about. Maybe they meet at 160, because that is what's the trajectory is going to be. That the trajectory is going to be, even Eddie Hearn mentioned it, Boots is going to go 154, and if he can't get the undisputed because people are staying away from him, he's going to move him to 160. And you heard him. You know who they want, man. Before Crawford leaves, they would like an opportunity. That's the way they were saying it. They weren't necessarily calling out Crawford more than they were saying, we're not a name brand enough yet for Crawford to even give us a chance. That's my job. That's what Eddie Hearn was saying. My job is to make Boots so popular that Crawford would consider giving us a chance. So if Crawford doesn't leave before 40, I wouldn't mind seeing it, Clay. I wouldn't mind seeing Boots I wouldn't mind seeing, but I'm be real with you, man. And now we're going to my lane, right? Because I'm a supporter of Terrence Bird Crawford. Hey, bro, it's Canelo or go home, bro. We're done. We're done. If we have an opportunity to become undisputed at 160, a real opportunity, like if Janibek can do the work, you know what I mean, get the work done against Erislandy Lara, and then if he can either make that fight happen with Carlos Adames, or if somebody wants to give me the Carlos Adames fight, I'll take it, beat him, and then we can be in a big undisputed fight with Janibek that may call to me because of the ability to become a 4-weight class undisputed champion. But outside of that, Jerome Boots Ennis just doesn't check the boxes as far as if I'm Bud. As far as boxing is concerned, oh, yeah, bro. You announce Terrence Crawford versus Jerome Boots Ennis right now, it's going to go crazy. It's going to go straight crazy, bro, 100%. But Terrence Bud Crawford has accomplished so much already in his own right. If he makes that fight happen, great. But if he doesn't, no skin off, you know what I'm saying, off my back. I'm happy with what he's done with his career. Let's get Canelo Alvarez, Crawford too, and let's let Crawford go home, bro. The greatest boxer of this era, bro. The biggest and greatest boxer of this era. It is what it is. I know nobody wants to hear that. I get it.
He deserves it, though. You're right, Clay. Like, Crawford deserves to walk away, right? Like Crawford. Well, I think the reason why Crawford still wants to stay too is if he made 50 million, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's supposed to be floor was 50 million. Maybe it was a little bit more or whatnot, what the ceiling is, but it's hard to turn away 100 million going into 2026 if that's the offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's
In reality,
hard,
we gotta be
right?
honest. Crawford's been getting these real big paydays in the last 4 years, 3. Like he
Yes.
waited till later, right? Like, so this is his cash out stage. This is the time for him to collect those big paychecks and make that generational wealth. So yeah, you're not turning away $100 million. You're not turning it away even if you're Canelo, no less.
Yeah.
You're Crawford.
And let's be honest, Clay. Like, okay, so the word is Laura Janabek is happening December in San Antonio, December 6th as the co-main event to Isaac Pitbull Cruz and Lamont Roach. Okay,
Which is kind of like why they,
which is insane. So if you want to go to San Antonio, watch those amazing fights. Good for you. Now, after December 6th, what's supposed to happen is sometime during the college football playoffs, if the Nebraska Cornhuskers are going to whatever bowl game, Terrence Crawford is supposed to make this announcement that in front of 90 to 100,000 people in Cornhusker Stadium, Terrence Crawford's making a world title fight happen against Carlos Adames in Nebraska for Omaha. Or Crawford against,
Carlos Adames,
against Carlos Adames. Now, I bring that up because if I were to say to you right now, Clay, Carlos Adames, who arguably beat Hamza Shiraz, arguably, right? It was close.
As far as I'm concerned, I think he beat him.
All right, but I'm just saying, right? Yeah. So you already know Carlos Adames is a legit champion, WBC 160. If I were to bring up and say, hey, Boots Enos is moving up to 160 pounds to fight Carlos Adames, how many people are going to, you know what I'm saying? How many people would say, oh, well, that's not a good enough fight for Boots?
No, they wouldn't say that.
I'd
be here fighting them on that. I would not allow that narrative to be put. Hold on a second. Warrior Class 3 with the $10, man. Salute to Warrior Class, man. Always supporting the channel. Says, but hold on, Clay. What if Lubin actually whoops Ortiz? Hold on now. That is legitimate talk right there, and we got to talk about that as well. That fight's getting ready to come up, and we are not just going to look past that fight because I'm telling you, I have a funny feeling. I got a feeling that fight's going to be a lot more competitive than what people are going to say, and dare I say, I said it before, I say it again. Lubin may very well derail this whole entire campaign at 154, and what we think is going to happen may not be it at all, as Erickson Lubin is not laying down for nobody. Let me finish reading the super chat. It says, why everybody looking past Lubin like he washed up? Please explain. Mexican, flat foot style versus athletic fights. Fondura beats Thurman to the body. He goes with Fondura beating Thurman. Yes, looking past Erickson Lubin is diabolical. Erickson Lubin has matured so much since his loss against Sebastian Fondura. He's matured going from the hammer, which sometimes you might have forgot he's the hammer in his last couple of fights because he's been so poised and so cerebral in being measured and patient in the way he approaches the sweet science now. I don't know. And this is what I went to say earlier in the first segment of this live that we're doing. This is being the second segment when I said this is going to be the litmus test to see how much Virgil Ortiz has learned from those two fights between Serhii Bohachuk and Israel Madrimov. This is going to be the true litmus test to find out if he's truly improved as a fighter, right? He's going to have to bring that game because I think Erickson Lubin is just on another level now. Is he a level above Virgil Ortiz? Is he better than Virgil Ortiz? Time will tell. We're about 2 weeks away from that fight happening, a little less than 2 weeks away. So we'll get that answer soon enough. But yeah, definitely not looking past Erickson Lubin in his fight. And definitely, he says Fondura beats Thurman to the body. Listen, man, I've seen somebody, I think Cheese might have said, are we high up on the Sebastian Fondura? I think he called him like slim body or slinky body or something. I don't remember what you said, Cheese. It was something along those lines, right? But at the end of the day, listen, man, Sebastian Fondura, is he like the most like well-rounded, No, listen, man, we cannot deny the elephant in the room with that guy, right? This dude is just tall for no damn reason, got long arms for no damn reason. He's a southpaw. He punches hard as hell. I think he's super durable in comparison to what people. That's like one of the biggest things he may bring to the table is how durable he actually is. That man can take punishment, broken nose, yeah. Brian Mendoza caught him with a shot and laid him out, but I mean that was just a testament to how comfortable he was getting punched on. He was shocked, like, damn, that one actually knocked me out because I got hit about a dozen of those already tonight, and it didn't do nothing to me. The man is durable, right? And now we're seeing a Sebastian Fondura who's operating behind that jab. He's starting to work behind that jab, and he's walking people into bad situations. So somebody like Keith Thurman, standing at what, 5'10", 5'9", I don't know how tall he's standing. He's gonna have to take risk in this fight. He's gonna have to jump and cross the void. Sebastian plans on keeping him at the end of that jab, and he's anticipating him figuring out how to get past that jab. And I think the answer is going to be some uppercuts that are going to land upside his head, that are going to land to his body. Shout out to my guy, Warrior Class 3. That's going to land in places. And I don't see, this is what the reality is. I don't see Keith Thurman stopping Sebastian Fondura. I don't know if Keith Thurman is going to hurt Sebastian Fondura. I think Keith Thurman is going to get hit a lot on this journey to find out if he can hurt Sebastian Fondura. I think he's going to go in, take punishment. He's going to give punishment. He's going to go in, take punishment, give punishment. He's going to do this over and over and over again. The question is, does Keith Thurman weather that kind of a storm? Who falls first? I think Warrior Class 3 is bringing up the body campaign because we've seen him be weak to the body. I think Sebastian Fondura has shown that he's super durable against big punchers in the game, including Erickson Lubin being one of them. So, yeah, man, like I said earlier, Keith, he gave you the heads up. Do something, you know what I mean? Work with it. We told you what to do already, right? Sebastian's hurt. He's not ready, you know what I mean? You're ready. You've been in the training camp, brother. Get about that damn crazy-ass mess and go fight Manny, man. Get you a bag, man. Let Sebastian Fondura move. Let 154 do what 154 do. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that because you know what you're saying too, Warrior Class. I think that when we were looking at the rankings, I wouldn't have been mad if Lubin was even higher on that list. Nick. You know, because if you look at Lubin's career, this guy's fought a lot of people, man. I mean, his loss to Jermel Charlo was his 19th fight. So I'll call that, you know, early in his career. At the time, he happened to be fighting one of the best, right? But after that, man, knocked out Ishe Smith, beat Terrell Gashaw, beat Jason Rosario when Rosario was the champ, or was like on a champ type status. Lost to Fondura, but then, you know, knocked out Cuba Arias, beat Jesus Ramos, beat Andreal Holmes. You know what I mean? Right? Like, Lubin doesn't suck, man. His resume speaks for himself. So I'm with you on this, Warrior Class. It's 50-50. I'm still picking Virgil Ortiz to win. Just because, again, man, if this goes to decision in Texas at Fort Worth, nah, I mean, even if it looked like Lubin was winning, I don't think Lubin's going to get the nod. Lubin would have to knock out Virgil Ortiz, and the only time, we saw him get dropped by Boachuk. That was it, right? We've never really seen Virgil Ortiz get hurt. So I still think if you're betting
I don't think he gets knocked out, but I could definitely see him getting knocked down in this fight for sure. I can see that happening. And I can see Erickson Lubin outpointing this guy, man.
Beating him on points?
I can see him doing it. I don't know. I mean, as far as the judges giving the head nod, like you said earlier, I think it's an uphill battle. But I'm saying I can see Lubin winning a lion's share of rounds against Virgil Ortiz if he's able to maintain his poise. Now, the thing with Erickson Lubin's going to be that he can't allow Virgil Ortiz to drag him into a situation he doesn't want to be in. Erickson Lubin has to fight Virgil when he wants to fight him and box him when he wants to box him. He can't be a fighter who's reacting and allowing Virgil Ortiz to set the tempo, because that's not going to look good. You know what I mean? I always say this going into fight, the judges know what they're expecting from the fighters, right? Like, the judges have a way they expect Virgil Ortiz to look when he's winning, and there's a way Erickson Lubin is supposed to look when he's winning. If you're not looking that way, they tend to go towards the other guy and be like, oh, the reason he's not looking that way is because the other guy's beating him and making it to where he can't be that way, and opposite and vice versa. So it's real interesting, but I think Erickson Lubin can do it. Will he do it? I don't know. 50-50, man. And I'm sure a lot of people are favoring Virgil Ortiz to win this fight.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, you know what I'm saying? But Erickson Lubin brings those elements. And I'm telling you guys, when you watch him fight against Serhii Bohachuk, Erickson Lubin can deliver that kind of performance. And when you watch him fight against Israel Madrimov in those first 4 rounds, Erickson Lubin can deliver that type of performance, bro. And call it what you want to call it, man. I give him all the respect in the world for both those victories. The Madrimov victory, although that man had an upper respiratory infection and his conditioning was foul, in my opinion, it's a win. Serhii Bohachuk, that fight could have went either way. If you want to give it to Bohachuk, I get it. But more importantly, the judges gave it to Virgil Ortiz. So I give him that. And bottom line is, it's 22 rounds of experience you can't buy. You got to earn that kind of experience. You can't send somebody a check and just get that experience sent to you in the mail. So we're going to see. That's going to be the ultimate litmus test for Virgil Ortiz, for us to see these improvements, see these adjustments, because I believe Erickson Lubin is going to force him to show those adjustments. And if he becomes a one-trick pony, like let's say Errol Spence, it could be a bad night. You know what I'm saying? A dominating fighter, walking forward, destroying his opponents with body shots, the eye collector. Yeah, and then somebody calls, Terrence Crawford gets in the ring and says, do something else, bro. That ain't going to do it with me. And what did Errol say? What do you mean something else? And Terrence said, exactly. He said, exactly, bro. That's what I was saying. You feel me? That's why I was trying to tell the whole boxing world about your ass. I was trying to tell them. You feel me? They didn't want to listen to me. That's what I've been trying to tell y'all. It is what it is. You know what I mean? You're great at that.
Right. And there's and by the way, there's nothing wrong with being great at the thing that you're great at. But, you know, you just have to recognize when someone is just better. And Terrence Crawford,
right, in this fight, right? Like if Erickson Lubin can force Virgil Ortiz either barbecue or mildew, force Virgil Ortiz to be a great boxer, and for us to be like, wow, this guy has
amazing
game. Yeah. Now we really want to see him against Jaron Ennis, right?
Yeah.
But if he can't, if he's just like, I'm going to force my will this whole fight, and Erickson's able to expose this other part of his game that he hasn't developed properly, then we're looking at Erickson Lubin being right in the middle of the big conversation.
Let me ask you this though, right? So Lubin's only 30 years old. So people got to remember that Ortiz is 27, which is why the Ortiz versus Boots fight is so compelling. A 28-year-old, 27-year-old fighting at the prime of their careers. Like, that's why we want to see it. And at the same time, I don't want it to be not seen, if you understand what I'm saying. We want to see it, but I want the world to see it. So if we need to let that marinate long enough to be mainstream driven, I'm fine with that. In the meantime, though, what if Virgil catches Lubin the same way Jamal Charlo did? You know what I mean? Like, it just happens, right? Gets caught, gets knocked out. You can't now take that away from Virgil Ortiz. You know what I mean? What if he wins by first round knockout? You can't take it away from him. No. And at the same time, it now, this is why I'm saying, well, if he just knocked out Lubin that way, he's definitely number one. And now who's ducking who if Fondura doesn't give him a shot? You see what I mean? That's why I'm not going to mess with Virgil if Virgil doesn't fight with Boots next. Just like I'm not going to mess with Boots if Boots doesn't fight Virgil next. I think that both of them should get world title fights. So,
yeah, 100%. I think the boxing, I think we're kind of like we've been hurt so bad as boxing fans with fights not happening. we're not cool with things developing. We want it now. And if you don't give it to us now, we feel like you're about to run off with our money. Right?
Right.
No, we just went through this with Tank. We thought we were gonna get the fights, and we watched the Hector Garcia fight. We watched him fight Leo Santa Cruz. We watched him fight because you guys kept saying he's gonna give us a fight. Now he's fighting Jake Paul. No, give it to us now. I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, calm down, bro. This man, Jaron Ennis, walked away from big money to fight Virgil Ortiz in Saudi Arabia, bro, for legacy, bro. He has a track record to be true to his cloth, which is I want to be undisputed, and I'm not taking paydays. He's given us enough to believe him, to understand that. Let him have this cheesy fight with Usama Lima, bro. I believe wholeheartedly that he's in a great position with a great promoter in Eddie Hearn, who just did a great partnership deal with Turkey Al-Sheikh, who just did a great marketing deal partnership with Rock Nation, who is in position to put the biggest fights. He's in the mood to put the biggest fights out. He signed the likes of Ben Whitaker. He's got Jalil Hackett. He's done work with Shakur Stevenson. He's working with Raymond Savage, Ford. I mean, Eddie, and now Eddie has Dana White in the space. He wants to be competitive. He wants to be part of the biggest fights. All signs pointing to the idea that Boots Ennis is going to get the big fights as long as they're able to be made. Now, I also want to address something that Dub said earlier. Shout out to my brother L Dub said, there's rumors circulating in the space right now that Carlos Adames is entertaining moving up to 168. That's what he wants to do. That, in fact, that's why they're making this Shane Mosley Jr. versus Jesus Ramos WBC interim title fight at 160. That they're already entertaining the fight that this guy may be moving out of division. You know what I say to that? Even better, bro. Boots Ennis versus the winner between Jesus Ramos and Shane Mosley Jr. for the WBC title. Let's have at it. Let's have at it. Am I bugging? That might be even a better fight than the Carlos Adames fight. What do you think?
Yeah, no, but Clay, isn't the Jesus Ramos Shane Mosley fight supposed to be for 160?
Yeah, it's 160. Yeah, that's what Carlos Adames is. This fight's 160. Yeah,
right. No. I mean, I like, again, I like I like that we're in a space that there's so many young, in their primes, talent in this whole division. This is why I always say that boxing's never been better than when it was in the 70s, because we're seeing all of it. The only thing that I want, Clay, is I want it to be at the magnitude that we got to see the Crawford-Canelo fight. I want 41 million people to be able to watch Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis, right? And that's what I mean about how, how like people get mad of when Pacquiao and Mayweather fought. But honestly, bro, if they would have fought in 2010, I don't think it would have been as big commercially. I think that for us fight fans, we would have seen what would have been during their peaks in 2010. But they weren't as globally popular as they were until 2015. So when you remember how that fight got made, right, Clay? They were both in the same basketball game. They both walked across the court from each other. Right. They shook hands and talked, and it became a global thing. That's what I want for Boots versus Virgil Ortiz. I want, or for any of the top fighters. I want it to be so popular to the mainstream global fans that they're like, oh shit, I can't believe Boots Ennis is fighting Virgil Ortiz, or I can't believe, Clarence Crawford is fighting so-and-so, like whoever, so that boxing grows. Because at the end of the day, Clay, that's what we're always trying to do at ATP is we're not so much jumping on a fighter's back.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about magnitudes of fight, the impact of fights on boxing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. So it's all about just the sport. We're trying to push the sport forward. That's why we're talking about the global boxing scene. We mentioned it earlier that tomorrow morning, if you guys want to go tune on your DAZN, 9 a.m., there are fights that it's happening. Matchroom's doing a bunch of fights, and you'll like it. It's for the British titles. You'll find that it's extremely competitive. You'll enjoy it. You'll get to know some of those fighters across the Atlantic. If you want to focus on the American scene, then yeah, we got to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
we got to wait a little bit.
I want to go back a little bit onto the Sebastian Fondura Keith Thurman fight that's been postponed just a little bit, right? Because we already kind of talked about it earlier. We were gonna jump into this conversation, but that kind of came out a little bit as far as what we thinking. Like Keith Thurman might want to entertain this fight with Manny Pacquiao, but does Sebastian Fondura really want this fight with Keith Thurman? Now I get it, right? This is a name for his resume, so I completely get the value of this fight for Sebastian Fondura on that level. But first, Keith Thurman is a name from a different era, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and and shout out to Keith Thurman because he only lost against Manny Pacquiao,
right?
Which is also what makes this fight more significant. But is Keith Thurman really is Keith Thurman really in a position to run it at 154 to get this?
No, man. Keith Thurman is ranked number 3 by the WBC. So shout out to Mauricio Suleiman for doing that. But and you can take that however you want to. He's not ranked in the WBA. I'm looking at it right now. Keith Thurman is not ranked in the IBF. Let me see. Nope. He's not ranked in the IBF. And Keith Thurman is ranked number 7 by the WBO. So you got the number 7 WBO and the number 3 WBC fighting Sebastian Fondura. So if you want to be technical about it, then technically speaking, for Sebastian Fondura to fight his voluntary as the number 3 guy doesn't make Sebastian Fondura look bad. But having said that, there's a Frenchman by the name of Bakary Samake who's fighting not this weekend, but the next weekend in Paris again. He's 18-0. He's undefeated. The guy's pretty good, Clay, right? Like how it's the same as not a lot of people from this side of the world knew about Abbas Baru, but people like Mick Doonan and other people across the Atlantic knew who Abbas Baru is, right? Same thing with Bakary Samake. And if Bakary Samake, who's ranked number 2, right below Boutsinis, who's ranked number 1 by the WBC, if Bakary Samake was the fight against Sebastian Fondura, in terms of Fondura's trajectory of getting better, I think that's a better fight. But I get it, man. Fondura wants a payday. He wants the legacy. He wants Keith Thurman to his name. But come on, man. I mean,
at this point, you're getting ready to fight you're co-headlining a card now, right? More than likely, that's what the rumor is. Right. The rumor is spinning that he'll be co-headlining under a Manny Pacquiao, whoever he fights main event.
Somebody.
It doesn't need to be, Keith. And that being said, because Keith Thurman, I saw him just recently do an interview. Shout out to my brother Mill City, and he also did an interview with Marcos Villegas and spoke to the he seemed a little nervous. He seemed a little bit like he wanted to keep Sebastian Fondura's head in the game, right? Like, come on, hey, Sebastian, don't do that. Don't run away from this. The people want to see this. The people want to see this. And it's like, do we really want to see it? Do we really want to see it? I don't know. Like, kind of speak for yourself on that. Like, that's how you feel?
Yeah.
I don't know if I really
you know what would be more interesting? And I'm with you on this, Clay, because you know what would be more interesting for me that I would rather see if Fondura is going to do a voluntary? How about Brandon Adams? Brandon Adams just fought in that Canelo Crawford undercard. He was shown to a lot of different people on the YouTube portion, right? Why not? He's ranked number 6, right? He just beat Sergey Bochuk twice. At one point a few months ago, Sergey Bochuk was the number 1. He was the number 1 at the WBC. So here's a guy who beat him twice, right? Like, why not a fight like that versus because let Keith Thurman live, man. Let him. He's going to be 37. All right. By the time January rolls along, he's 37, 31-1. He built his own legacy. One time, we respect you, man. We love you, bro. We understand you need the
please feel the respect and the love. Please feel the respect and the love.
This is not disrespecting you.
We want you to be okay, brother. We want you to get your payday. We want you with your family. We know what the assignment and what the mission is, and we're just trying to help you along that path. And we think there's other ways to get money right now. Maybe this is God working in his mysterious way to push this fight out the way it is, for Manny Pacquiao to have no opponent. But maybe this is all the stars lining up for you. Get your rematch with Manny. Get the pay-per-view money. Let's get it, man. Let's all for Keith Thurman to do something and lead this sport. And who knows, maybe Hall of Fame. Maybe Hall of Fame. Man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
And I'll tell you what, if I mean, Keith, if you can work your body to get to the 147 mark,
you could do
have Manny Pacquiao say yes, right? I would pay the pay-per-view to watch Pacquiao Thurman and co-main evented with Fondura versus Brandon Adams. I would totally pay that. I'm like, that's great, awesome.
Let's do it.
Here's my $80. Take it, Amazon.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get that out the way, and let's start with the unifications. Let's get 154 popping for 2026. Let's start with unifications. Let's get Jaron Ennis in there against Abbas Baru. Let him become a champion. Let's see Virgil get the winner of Brandon Adams and Sebastian Fondura. And let's start and let's get the party going. Let's get the party going, bro, because a lot of these guys have destiny waiting for them at 160. A lot of them will meet each other at 160 if they don't see each other at 154, or even if they see each other at 150, we'll probably fight each other again at 160. So this is all beautiful, right? It's all beautiful. Shout out to Big Herm with the $5 super chat. Says, if Boots gets stopped by Bud at 28 years old, his career will forever be stained. Well, if Bud loses at 40 years old to a young dude that took advantage, risky for Boots.
I don't agree. I think that if Crawford, let's say Crawford decided to fight him at 40, that means Boots would be 30 at that point. If it's a passing the torch type fight.
All right, geez, you about to get him bucked. Okay, I'm telling you, if this is the fight that gets made, all right. All right. Okay, cheese. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Nah, don't listen. I'm going to be up here Sunday morning after that fight, and I'm going to be like, who going to pay that man's hospital bills?
Yeah.
Who going to get that man together? I'm telling you, I got a feeling.
He's old, man.
I'm telling you that boy,
cheese. Thurman just came back to fight a guy in Australia who was coming up from 140, man. Right? Like, that's not a real test.
It's fool's gold, bro. We all know it. Come on, we don't got to be denial. Shout out to Keith Thurman for having that last fight and building himself up. He probably should have fought Tim Tszyu. They probably should have fought each other. But it's fool's gold. That man ain't show us that. He ain't show us he one of them. He back like that yet. He ain't show us he back to get in the ring with no Sebastian. Did you see these dudes standing in front of each other? Diabolical.
Yeah, no. I don't like it, dude. I don't want to see the Fondura Thurman fight. But you know what? You just mentioned something. Why not then just let Thurman, if he's got to stay at 54, then let it be Tim Tszyu versus Thurman as a part of a Fondura versus Adams co-main event as a part of Manny Pacquiao versus someone.
I think Tim Tszyu is going to 160. I'm not going to lie to you. I think.
You really think so? He's going up. Okay.
I think he is. I think he's going to 160, and I think he got to rebuild himself. I think Tim needs to just take. He's gotten rid of the coaches and everything like that. He got rid of the team. He's got a new team now. Let them get a tune-up fight with each other. Let them melt with each other. And Tim needs to slow down and stop being used as a pawn on a chess table, because that man, in my opinion, the way
they did him wrong,
PBC treated him. From the moment they went to Amazon to stick him in there with that last minute turnaround, to stick him in there with a damn murder Zaliev, to sticking him back in there again against the Towering Inferno, that's nonsense, bro. They did that dirty, bro. If he recovers from this and he gets back in the conversation becoming the champion, he deserves to be celebrated for him, because he legitimately has an argument for being ruined as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, just what he's been through, bro. He was handled like trash, bro. He's handled like trash.
Oh, terrible management, man. I mean, what were you doing? Even and let's go prior to that. You could have stopped the Tim Tszyu versus Fondura fight in the third round.
Yes.
And then it would have just been a no contest. And that's it. He'd be the champ. Then you could have made other fights with Tim Tszyu as the WBO, WBC champion. So this is why I don't give Fondura as much credit as you guys do. Because I'm like, what did you really do, Fondura? Fondura to me is like playing fantasy football. I hope you do all the things that I think you should be able to do, but I haven't seen it yet, man. That's why my ass's record isn't that good right now. You know?
I think Sebastian just, I believe Sebastian is what he is. I don't believe he isn't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't rate him as high as people think I rate him, but I just factor in everything. And I think he gets in the ring with anybody at 154, and you're not guaranteed to beat that guy, bro. I just don't care who you are. I just think he presents those real inconvenient truths. Like, yeah, you could say his IQ is not there with you. Maybe you think you're a better boxer than him. Maybe you have a better amateur. Maybe you have a better pedigree than him. Maybe you punch really hard. But he's just not. He's there to ruin you. If you don't take him dead ass serious, he's there to ruin you, bro. He brings that element to the table, bro. Like, period, man. It is what it is with him. But yeah, Keith, Manny is waiting on you. Get your people to reach out to his people. Cut that weight. Start cutting weight right now. Get ready to fight him at 147. I don't know if they can put like an interim title in there somewhere for you guys. Maybe they could throw, these sanctioning bodies don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Call one of them. I'm sure the WBC or somebody's willing to throw
WBA will throw you
some regular weird title. You know what I mean? Put it on the line, put you in the conversation of fighting for another title at 147, whoever wins that fight. And yeah, we can have a good time, right? And we'll watch that fight and we'll support you guys. It is what it is, right? Salute to everybody in the building. Oh, guys, if you're in the building, take a moment to hit the like button. I haven't asked you to do it. You should know to do it already. But yeah, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment to go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. I want to jump into this Lamont Roach conversation here, right?
You got the interview so we can listen to it? Or?
Yeah. I got it, man. I got it. I'm all over it. I'm all over it. And I want you to tell me what you think about this here, right? So Lamont Roach does an interview with Ak and Barack, and they speak on obviously his upcoming fight with Isak Pitbull Cruz, right? But they also speak on this Tank Davis fight, right? And the issue, and Ak presents a good argument, a good point of conversation for Lamont Roach, and says, Lamont, would you have passed on a Jake Paul fight? Like, in all honesty, with the money that was on the table, can you actually fault Gervonta Tank Davis for taking this fight? And I thought he gave an interesting response to it. He spoke a little bit about the actual conditions as to what was there surrounding that fight being made and the actual cost of business potentially to the PBC, definitely to himself with the way Tank approached it. And I'm interested in your perspective on it. Let me go ahead and address this super chat here. Shout out to Warrior Class 3 in the building. Says, Keith, one time Thurman should be called no time Thurman because the strength used to be in his hair. He's all talk at this point. Ooh. Yeah, listen, man, Keith does have a habit of talking like, I don't know, just like when he sat there and said, everybody wants to see this fight. I was like,
crickets, bro.
Keith Thurman wanted to see this damn fight. Who the hell told this man? No, they want to see Keith Thurman. I'm like, you amping yourself up a little bit, brother. I mean, we wanted to see you. There was a time where we wanted to see you fight, man. But it's been a while since we had that feeling, Keith. Respectfully, it's been a while.
Respectfully,
it is, right? respectfully,
bro. Man. We're not trying to mess with Keith,
right? Shout out my brother Rick Timms in the building. Says greetings from Luquello, Puerto Rico. What's up, Clay Panel Chat? What's up, Rick? You on vacation in Puerto Rico? You deserve it, brother. You deserve it, brother. I hope you're having a great time out there. Thank you for tapping into the show while you're in Puerto Rico, brother. That means a lot, bro. Let's listen to this right here. Let's see.
Accurate, but I'm saying those are the reports, right? If you were in his shoes, wouldn't you do the same thing?
See, now, this is something that I explain and express, and I hope everybody gets.
Whoa, man, amazing car. When did you become a millionaire?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
No, go ahead.
That opportunity is an opportunity that you probably cannot pass up. But it's about how you handle it. It's about how you go about it. A lot of people don't know that he actually exercised his rights to the rematch. So that contractually binds us to a fight. You cannot breach that unless you do what you have to do to handle the business to be like, okay, well, we mutually agree to let you move on or swindle around and fight Jake Paul for this money. Because you can't do that. You can't up and breach a contract. That's just how business works. So if you think I'm going to sit back by the wayside and sit there and be like, well, even though I'm contracted to fight this guy for this amount of money on this certain day, I'm just going to sit here and be cool with, oh, he might not ever fight me, and he's going to go fight and get paid and get this money, and I'm not supposed to get anything. That's crazy. No,
I get that.
So my thing is, if I was in his shoes and he was in my shoes, I would call him and be like, or get somebody from my team to be like, hey, look, we're going to take this Jake Paul fight. We give you XYZ to, step aside, and, we might revisit, we might not revisit. Let's get on the horn and let's figure this out. So, we can take this opportunity. I'm getting a big opportunity. Let me see what I can work out. Ain't none of that happened.
So none of that happened. Gotcha.
So, I'm not going to play those. Shout out to Ak and Barack, man. Great interview. You know what I mean? Those guys don't need to be shouted out too much. Those guys are the shit, right?
Now, but did he end up mentioning to Ak and Barack that on the Ring Magazine interview with Max Kellerman, he did say publicly that Al Heyman took care of him?
Right.
On that one, it makes it seem like he didn't get taken care of.
He spoke on it a little bit. And what he basically said was, yes, Al took care of him, but not like you think he did. Like, Al took care of him by putting him in a fight with Isaac Cruz and kind of paying him, maybe overpaying him a little bit for this Isaac Cruz fight. But I think, regardless, I think what he's saying is that I'm not complaining as much as people think I'm complaining, because I am whole at this moment right now. Maybe because I stank it up a little bit with how I reacted to the announcement of that BS, because nobody approached me before that BS got announced to make me whole. I had to make it smell in here, right? I had to shake it up, you know what I'm saying? And make it realize, like, you got me effed up, bro. Who's going to take care of me? Oh, hold up. I'm not letting it slide. Shout out to Warrior Class 3 with the $5 in here. Again, it says Keith One Time Thurman should wait. Did you just give me 2 super chats? I appreciate you. Yeah. It's the second super chat. Thank you, Warrior Class, for the second super chat with the same message.
That's awesome. Maybe he wanted to make it. He wanted to make sure that everybody understood.
Right. Salute you. But that being said, though, what he stated, right? What he said. First of all, what do you think about his response to the idea of the Jake Paul fight making sense? It's money. He's not faulting Tank for chasing the money, but more so the approach.
I think that he wasn't so much speaking to it. I don't think he was trying to give Tank any grace, more so than Ak and Barack made the question be, well, if it was you, I think Lamont used that opportunity to communicate that here's exactly what happened in this situation.
Right.
He did me wrong. Everyone should continue to know Tank Davis did me wrong.
Right.
Because if you're in a contract, that's a breach of contract. So technically speaking, I almost could have seen him go the direction of saying, and this is why my team is suing Tank Davis for breach of contract, right? Because you know what I'm trying to say, right? I think he took the opportunity for the question for him to explain it to the mass public. Like, hey, man, in our sport, it doesn't work this way, right? Like, if in the NFL, you got signed to be the starting quarterback, and then they just cut you, that team still has to pay you. You know what I'm saying, right? So in our sport, there was a contract signed in where Lamont Roach, was going to get paid for fighting Tank Davis. Then
Right.
all of a sudden, this guy decides to pivot because he's going to make millions of dollars to go fight Jake Paul. Well, where's my money? Right? And he has every right to explain it that way. And he's absolutely right. What Tank should have done is what fucking Eddie Hearn did for Giasov. Hey, man, we understand that you are the mandatory to fight Stanionis. We have an opportunity. So if you could understand, we're going to put you on the undercard. We're going to put you, Giasov, in the co-main event of this that you're doing us a favor on. And on top of paying you that money, we're also going to pay you this money.
Right. And we're gonna push to get you mandated for the winner. We're gonna push to get you where you need to be.
Right.
You know, I think that Roach, I always have a hard time calling that man by his last name like that. I hate calling him. That's your last name, sorry, Luke. But I call you Lamont, but I called you Roach, and I've been calling him Lamont for a minute, but I called him Roach there, and I just remembered why I call you Lamont. But anyway, but I think that, you know, I think that Lamont really, you know, is speaking to the idea that, hey, bro, just because you're a superstar, bro, and you're the face of quote unquote boxing, all this doesn't mean that you get to play with people's time, right?
Right.
That there's a camp, there's expenses being spent on a camp. There's fights that could be made that are not being made because I'm supposedly in a fight with you. There's a whole undercard that's also anticipating this thing rolling out. And if you're going to be in a position to get a bag like that with Jake Paul, then there should be moves that are made accordingly to take care of everybody who committed to being part of making your event the event that it's going to be for everybody, right? So Lamont has his legitimate argument and his right to fight for his respect as a dancing partner to one of the biggest fights that Tank can make right now off the strength of the last performance that he did with Tank, right? Off the strength of that performance. 100%. And
he beat him, bro. He beat him. You don't got to mix it up.
Right?
He beat Tank Davis.
Yeah, he beat him for sure. Davis. He did. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, right? With that being said, though, right? That being said, moving forward now, Tank is doing what he's doing. Lamont Roach is getting ready to go up to 140. He's going to fight Isak Pitbull for this interim WBC title. That fight's happening, what, December 6th or something like that? Or December?
No. Yes. December 6th, main event in San Antonio's Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach. Co-main event, Janabek versus Lara.
No doubt. Are you tapped into that fight yet, or are you still giving some time before you pull the trigger?
No. I got a couple of friends that are gonna be going there. I mean, you know, I'm going through some medical stuff over the next month or so. But if I almost would have went to the Fort Worth fight for Virgil Ortiz's fight, but because I got to go to the center for treatments on the 7th. That's why I can't go to that one. But if I'm feeling better, Clay, my ass might go to San Antonio to go see that fight, man. I think it's a great card. I'm a big supporter of Lamont Roach. I think Lamont Roach gets he gets avoided more so than people think. And what I like about Lamont Roach is he's willing to take on all comers. So hopefully, if he does what he does, and he beats Isaac Cruz, I'm actually picking him to beat Pitbull Cruz on this fight. So if Lamont Roach does what he does, he becomes the interim 140. Now you're looking at, you know, winner of Subriel Matias versus Dalton Smith for the WBC 140. You know, I'm excited for it, man. I like it. Ooh, is that Abdullah Mason?
Yeah, there's young Abdullah Mason in that basement. Well, that basement ain't that big, bro.
Man, that's a small basement, bro.
That's a small and even
he's trying to fight in the pocket. He's trying to fight Noakes in the pocket.
Listen, man, that fight's going to be a real great fight, man. It really is, because Sam Noakes is unknown that over here, I guess. Something, you know.
You guys should watch his fights. He's good. He's very good. 17-0.
Really, really good. But there he is in the basement working in there. But one thing you notice about Abdullah, what he's doing, right? Them hands is up.
Yeah. that high guard's gonna be in full effect.
Listen, them hands is up, brother. Them hands is up, bro. We throwing heat, but we ready for the heat to come back. And I'm sure that Sam Noakes is going to be delivering the heat back as best as he can. I'm expecting Abdullah Mason to listen. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm expecting Abdullah Mason to separate himself from the rest of the 135 division in this fight. And some people
this
might
is a world title fight, Clay. I mean, this is 100%.
But the world title is a sidebar, right? Like that's cool. He's getting the WBO title on the back end of this. But some people who don't know Sam Noakes may not give him the credit for what he's about to do. I think the performance he's going to put on is going to put the rest of the division on notice. I'm telling you, Sam Noakes is not there to be made an example of. He's not made to be a stepping stone. He's made to be a champion. And when Abdullah Mason does what I think he's going to do, which is I think he's taking it very seriously, his experience with Johan Vasquez. I hate that he didn't get a chance to fight against Giovanni Cabrera. I feel like that experience was just going to be just priceless, something that he needs to have. But he doesn't need to have it against with Sam Noakes. I just felt like Giovanni Cabrera was going to take him into the 10th round. Like it could have went to a decision. Like he might not have stopped Giovanni Cabrera because he's good enough to survive. He's got the footwork. He's got the pedigree in that athleticism to make the fight a fight to where you would have just watched Abdullah Mason just really step up and show something different in his repertoire. But regardless, this fight is going to be a big fight for Abdullah Mason because I think he's part of this whole entire 135-pound division, and he's the future of 140. You know what I mean? He is the future of 140.
He's the future, period, bro, because he's 5'11", I think, right? He's isn't he like 5'9" or 5'11"? I'll have to look it up, but he's a tall 135. He's taller than Haney.
What is he, though? Let's find out what he is in real time. Hold on.
So, guys, if you guys have not gotten a chance to look up Sam Noakes highlights or Sam Noakes fight, again, if you watch boxing on a global scale, you will understand that this is as much a big deal for Sam Noakes, especially in the UK, as it is for Abdullah Mason here in the US.
He's 5'9", yeah.
Yeah. So Sam Noakes, guys, though he is older, he's 28 years old than Abdullah Mason. He's 17 wins, undefeated with 15 knockouts, right? And we've spoken about this before on ATP, Clay, where I told you, man, a lot of people, they don't see a Hamza Shiraz coming because they still have this weird mentality where they think fighting people across the Atlantic isn't nearly as hard as fighting people in the US. And the truth is, it's actually harder because in the US, they do the Carlos Berlanga treatment of building you up just to get you knocked out. And I'm not saying that's what happened to Abdullah Mason, but this kid came from a British amateur system. Then they moved him up. He was already fighting on his 8th fight for a WBC silver title, right? Then he's been doing these like lower level title fights from fight number 8 all the way up to fight number 17. So this guy's become the Commonwealth. Then he became the British. So he's the British champion, the Commonwealth champion, the WBO international lightweight champion. He's been the WBC silver. You see what I'm saying? Like this guy's won belts and titles and put himself in knocking people out. He put himself in kind of like remember how you said Lima looked like a deer in the headlights? He didn't know what to expect. This guy, Sam Noakes, knows exactly what it's like to be a headliner and what it's like to fight in front of 7,000 or whatever. He understands the stage. So this fight being in Riyadh, bro, I keep telling you, man, Riyadh makes everybody it's like a superpower.
Yeah,
makes
this fight right here is going to be a great one too, bro.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be awesome.
Echo Usman versus Jack Catterall, especially with Jack Catterall. But this is going to be a good fight.
Catterall working with Boots' team now. Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
But
Echo Usman's no joke, bro. Echo Usman would be the number one contender to Brian Norman.
Right.
If Haney wasn't there, for example, or whoever the winner Haney Norman. So I like this fight, dude. I like that
This
fight
is gonna be a
too.
great fight. I want to see if Jack Catterall got another gear. What else I was gonna say was that Sam Noakes stylistically is a great fight for Abdullah Mason. It's a competitive fight because unless Abdullah shows us that wrinkle to his game, I believe Abdullah Mason can take away what Sam Noakes does and take advantage of him and beat the brakes off. The fight could not look competitive if Abdullah fights the correct fight. But if Abdullah sits in there and fights that close range, mid range fights where he's catching and shooting, it's gonna be a competitive fight, bro. Because Sam Noakes is there for that type of work, bro. He's there,
and that's what it looks like. Abdullah Mason is training. That's why he's in that small base. So we'll see, man.
Exactly. He's in that small basement. My question is, get him a gym, get him a ring, get him moving around, bro. Because if he's fighting the way he's fighting because you got him inside of a little basement, bro, then you might be giving him that goldfish treatment, bro. You know how goldfish are, bro. You open the tank up, they get bigger. But if you keep him in that little tank, he might, you might be crippling him and taking away from what he really can do. He has his stance is a little bit wide at times. He doesn't plan on moving that much. He does a good job, catching. He's defensively responsible. He did a great job in his last fight against who did he fight against? Nakatilia, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Nakatila.
Yeah. He moved around decent in that, but once again, Nakatilia was on his back foot. Sam Noakes will not be on his back foot.
No.
It's just, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, get that dude a gym, man. And that's what it's about, right? And that's one of the things I like about. I know people don't like to hear it, but I think that you're going to see that with Dana and that Zuffa boxing. I think you're going to see the same way you see that UFC facility. I'm anticipating seeing boxing facilities. I'm anticipating on seeing these fighters get provided with state-of-the-art equipment and access to nutrition and
trainers,
things like that.
Nutrition.
Right. You're going to see fighters developing in a different way than, shout out to Abdullah Mason getting it out the mud, him and his father and his brothers in that basement. But at this point, this guy's getting ready to fight for a championship. This guy should be in a full-size gym getting it in. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't be in his damn basement, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, can I just end with this? Marvin Hagler trained in the basement, remember? That was the Hagler treatment, remember? Hagler would always go, it's time for me to go in the dungeon. That's what Hagler would do. Get away from all of the
just because of Dana
and everything else.
I know, man. Dana gotta earn it, man. But I got a feeling, man. That you're gonna see.
Jeez, it's gonna be good for all of boxing, for so many different promoters to be involved, and especially if they're given the content for free. So I'm telling
you, look how Dana's already affected Eddie. Look how Eddie's moving off the strength of this Dana being there, how he's feeling. That dude needed a dance partner. Eddie needed a dance partner, bro. Oscar wasn't doing it for Eddie. They tried to do their thing with each other, clap back Thursdays, but when it came down to it, Oscar was playing games. You know what I'm saying? When it was all said and done, Eddie needed that dance partner, and Dana is your Huckleberry. He gonna dance, and Eddie's gonna enjoy trying to outdo Dana, and Dana's gonna do what he does. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody's going to work together in this one more than people think is going to happen, man. I think it is what it is, man. It's about that time, man. Is there anything we haven't spoken about yet? Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and pull up here and see if there's anything. Oh yeah, Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker getting ready to get it in, right?
October 25th. Yep, October 25th.
Same date as Eric. No, hold on a second. Let me get this together here in my mind. I apologize. So Erickson Lubin and Virgil Ortiz is November
8th. Yeah, November 8th and Fort Worth, Texas.
Right.
November 8th.
And the Fabio Wardley fight is the week before, which is next week. Right? Is it next week?
Yes. Fabio
next
Wardley
Saturday.
is October. So here's what's happening on that day, actually, Clay, and you'll appreciate this because I know you like MMA. So on the same day as Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley, in a great card, by the way, if you look at the entire card, that's October 25th. That is a Frank Warren show, so it's for Queensberry on that same exact day, and it'll be on UK time, so it'll be in the morning to afternoon. That night of October 25th is the heavyweight championship for the UFC. It's Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. So heavyweight on UFC. It's UFC 321 and heavyweight for boxing. But that's October 25th.
Yeah, here it is right. Here's the schedule right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe for another day, the Danny Garcia, Daniel Gonzalez fight, but even though that's happening on Saturday.
Yeah. I was going to tell you the one happening tomorrow is the one you guys should pay attention to. And if you're free, Clay, you should call this because I know it's your thing, man. You like doing that type of stuff. It's good.
I really do. I really do.
So
what do you think about what do you think about this Parker Wardley fight?
I like it. I mean, fuck it, dude. If Usyk's not going to fight somebody, what they're going to do is they're going to strip Usyk of the WBO. This Wardley Parker fight essentially becomes the WBO championship now, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, man, I feel bad that Parker should have gotten more fights after he knocked out Bacoli in February. Mm-hmm. So this is his first fight back since that. That's kind of unfair for him. At the same time, Fabio Wardley's undefeated, bro, and he got that one hitter quitter. You know, he's exciting. He came. I don't know if you're too familiar with Fabio Wardley's story, but he was the guy that kind of got recruited by Dillian White. But originally, I think Fabio Wardley was playing, what was it, like rugby or something like that? Like he was playing another sport, and then he was like, you know what? I'm gonna put in.
I think it was rugby. I think it was rugby.
Yeah, I think it was in rugby, right? So this is a big athletic guy who's got a hell of a punch, and he's 19-0 for a reason. We saw how Justice Hooney was outboxing him and outclassing him within that style, but when it came down to it, that one hitter quitter, got him knocked out. So it's easy to say Joseph Parker, who's not that old. He's only 32 or 33.
He looks old. He gives me old energy.
He looks
right.
old, but he's not that old, bro. He's not that old. So I think Fabio Wardley's 30, if I'm not mistaken. So they're kind of close to the same age. Mm-hmm. But it's easy to say Joseph Parker's got so much experience. Joseph Parker has Andy Lee. Joseph Parker is going to outbox him. It's easy to say that shit. But Justice Hooney had a hell of amateur experience and was outboxing the shit out of Fabio Wardley just for Fabio Wardley to knock him out. So I still say that a man in Fabio Wardley who broke another man's jaw, bro. You saw that, how he broke Frazier Clark's jaw in Riyadh.
And put a knot on his head for
oh my gosh. Anytime somebody's got that type of power in a heavyweight division, you never know what's going to happen. I'm excited for that fight. I think it'll be great.
The last fight he fought against what was his name again? Something O'Neal. What was his name? What was the
Justice Hooney. Justice Hooney.
Justin Hooney, right? There was a learning. There's an opportunity for him to learn in this fight, right? He was outboxed, man. Like, and when we're talking about outbox, I mean, I was in complete shock to see Justice Hooney get clipped.
You didn't think he was that good? I thought Hooney was that good. He had a lot of amateurs.
He was that good. I thought Fabio got outclassed. I thought he just showed that he's he didn't have the wrinkles to his game. But I mean, he doesn't. I mean, I don't know. You walk away from that fight, like you just said, with a knockout like that. It's like, okay, he's always in the fight, right? He's got a lot of power in his hands. But Joseph Parker and Andy Lee have come together, bro. And Joseph Parker may be the best version of himself we've ever seen him be at this point. Like, this Joseph Parker beats Anthony Joshua, right?
Especially
right?
today. 100%, dude. Totally.
This Joseph Parker probably would have beat Daniel Dubois, right? More than likely would have beat Daniel Dubois. This Joseph Parker gives Moses Atama, makes a great fight with Moses Atama.
It'd be a problem. It'd be a problem. Yeah, I mean, this Joseph Parker might actually beat Usyk. We just haven't given him a chance. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know if he has. We'll find out, right? But Fabio Wardley is a puncher's puncher, man. He's just an exciting fighter to watch. But I just don't see him competing with Joseph Parker in a real way. I just feel like Joseph Parker can easily, with Andy Lee's mind behind this, he's going to take away that power. He's gonna take it away, and I think it's gonna be a one-sided situation. I think Fabio Wardley's not ready for this level of competition. I think his experience is gonna show up. His lack of experience is gonna show up in a bad way for that man, bro. It's gonna show up in a bad way for that man, bro. It's not gonna work.
Well, the only way for us to know is to find out. Keep in mind that Zhilei Zhang was having a pretty good time against Parker. If you go revisit and watch that fight from March of 2024, Zhilei Zhang, who lost a majority decision to Joseph
After
Parker.
2 knockdowns.
Okay, I'm just saying,
I don't know
right?
what
Like,
you mean. I think Joseph Parker put on a class. I think he outclassed that man big time, bro.
but he did get knocked down, though.
No, he got
now
caught.
do you understand?
Sure. He got caught.
So
But Zhilei
what
Zhang
makes
is
you
a
think
big guy, bro. Fabio's not that guy.
So now, when you think about that, think about all the things you're saying. Zhilei Zhang is a big man, but he's also old, and he's also slow in the feet. Fabio Wardley's none of those. Fabio Wardley's got quick feet, and he hits possibly harder than Zhang. So I don't know.
More explosive. I think he's definitely more explosive than Zhang. I see what you're saying too, and I'm be real with you. I'm going to add to that and tell people, no matter what you guys think of that Martin Bacoli fight, Bacoli was putting hands on that motherfucker until he got clipped on the top of his head. He was putting that boy. He had that boy moving around, and I think you can even see it in Joseph Parker. Like, look how much weight he cut. He came in that fight big because he wanted to be big to fight against Daniel Dubois. And you see he's gotten real athletic. Like, he slimmed down a lot for this fight. So his legs, he wants his legs to be there. He plans on boxing this dude.
Yeah,
bro,
he doesn't plan on standing.
Yeah. He doesn't plan on just standing there in front of him and exchanging with him. So Fabio Wardley also, his conditioning was also a little suspect against the Justice Uni fight. His conditioning was a little suspect. So, and I'm telling you, Andy Lee has one of those brains. I keep telling people to remember who this guy is. This guy is a student of the late, great Emmanuel Stewart, bro. This dude comes from a different cloth of boxing, probably the last of a dying breed in trainers, bro. Like, a legitimate.
All the things you're saying are absolutely true. Again, I want to remind you that with Fabio Wardley, he doesn't have a bad team, man. They know what they're doing, and they're trying to figure out how to make his power punching style work. Keep in mind that this is the same guy who knocked out David Adelaide in his 17th fight.
Right.
Then he had a great 12-round fight of the year candidate in 2024 against Frazier Clark in March, only to break Frazier Clark's jaw in October of 2024. And then you just saw what he did with Hooney. Imagine it from his point of view. If you're Fabio Wardley, you don't even care about being behind on the scorecards because you know you hold in your hands the power to take out anyone at any given time. And that style, sir, is very dangerous. That's a very Ernie Shavers type of a style, man. At any given point, all that needs to happen is one shot. So like I said, I'm excited for it because we don't know what we don't know yet.
100%, man. Super excited for the fight, my damn self. But I do think that Joseph Parker shows out. I think that the great fights to be made are going to involve Moses Atama, Joseph Parker, Alexander Usyk. You know what I mean? These fights are great. Great fights are going to happen. What do you think about the announcement of Derek Chisora versus Zhilei Zhang? How do you feel about that?
I love it.
Outro.
I love it, man.
Me too. I'm in love with that fight,
said he wanted to bang him.
Let's do it. Both these guys on their way out the door, retiring on their last. Both of them punchers. Both of them ain't scared to fight. Derek Chisora never sells us short. Zhilei Zhang loves the fact that Derek Chisora is going to be standing right there in front of him. Does this fight end in a knockout? Does somebody get knocked out in this fight?
I think somebody's getting knocked out. Although it's hard to say that because Derek Chisora is the type of guy that he's like Rocky, man. He just keeps getting up. And,
that's a durable dude. And Zhang's been known to mess up in the gas tank, right? And I can see Derek Chisora testing that. He has the better conditioning. Derek Chisora is coming in with the better conditioning in this fight.
And check this out too, Clay. This fight's not just a regular fight. I realize that it's supposed to be Derek Chisora's last fight. But technically speaking, according to the IBF, the winner of this would be the IBF mandatory to fight Alexander Usyk. And if you're Zhilei Zhang or even Derek Chisora, why wouldn't you execute that right to get one more payday, man? So this might not be the swan song that you're thinking.
Well, that's what it looks like. But I agree with you. There's an opportunity on the back end of this fight that may lock a fighter in for at least one more fight, right? You're not going to walk away from an opportunity to be a champion. I don't know. So, but who do you think wins the fight? Who do you think? Do you have any opinion? Who do you think wins it?
Zhang hits hard, bro, and let's not forget that Zhang is the silver medalist. He lost it to Joshua, who was the gold medalist in that 2012 Olympics. Zhang, though he's old, he holds power, but he does understand how to fight in a space within that range of space. And also, one of the things that Zhang is really good at is he knows how to make the ring smaller when he's fighting you. The problem is Derek Chisora doesn't have a boxing quality to him. Derek Chisora likes to be on the inside, kind of swinging away with those overhands, right? And he kind of makes the fight wild. So I don't think this goes the distance. If it does go to distance, Clay, it's going to be like Martinez versus Mbili, bro. It's both of those guys are going to be
good. You think that good? I think these guys look crazy.
Heavyweight. They're not going to throw as many punches, but I think it'll be like an action-packed rock'em sock'em.
Yeah, I think if this fight isn't done by the 7th round, we're going to see two fat-ass old heavyweights laying all over each other, and a poor innocent small referee trying to wedge his way in the middle of them and separate them. You're going to see the ref get a workout. Probably you're going to see a ref get more of a workout than you've ever seen a referee get a workout in a fight. I think you're going to see a referee in there just like working to keep these guys fighting each other and not hugging on each other and holding on to each other, bro. I mean, I think this fight has to be done inside 7, 8 max.
We'll see. Like I said, I think it'll be more exciting than most people believe. I understand that they're old narrative.
I think for the first 3 to 5 rounds, fireworks. I think for the first 5 rounds, oh, bro, the first 3 to 5 is going to be like, I'm not even taking no score on that fight. I'm going to, off rip, I'm not taking the score. I'm just watching that fight because I'm expecting somebody to fade the black, bro. Shadow Realm. Somebody got to go.
Somebody. Do you think? Okay, let me ask you this, because I know you're a bit of a historian, and you're not, and you're old enough that you would have remembered this fight.
I'm not a historian, but go ahead. I know what I know.
No, but you've been watching enough of it, right? Throughout your life. So, do you think that Zhilei Zhang versus Derek Chisora will end up looking more like George Foreman versus Jerry Cooney back in 1990? They were both old at that point. Because remember that one? That's one of the biggest highlights.
I think it's going to be better than that. I think it's going to be better. I think Derek.
Okay, that was a highlight for Foreman.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was great. But I think Derek, without a doubt, Zele is going to be the Foreman, right?
Right.
And I think Derek just presses it better than Cooney. I think he's going to press it. He's going to be wild. He's not going to give up. He's going to bring that element of chaos into that ring that's going to make that fight even better for 5 rounds.
Okay.
For 7 rounds. 5 to 7.
The other one I would have compared it to is, and I don't know if you remember this, but you remember this?
It's going to be a 5'9", 5'7" ref, bro, who's going to be sitting up in there just, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Separate. Damn it, I said separate. Listen to my instructions. Go.
well, look. I'm gonna hold out and say that I hope that it is more exciting. But you're gonna remember this fighter. He was one of the best at cruiserweight, and then as he was getting older, he moved to heavyweight. But you remember a guy by the name of Dwight Muhammad Qawi, right?
Rest in peace. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if you remember that when Foreman was 39 years old, at heavyweight, Qawi and Foreman actually fought back in 1988. And that was a 7th round TKO for Foreman. So maybe it'll look like that, bro. Maybe it'll look like that.
I can see that.
Just because they're old doesn't mean it won't be exciting, guys.
It is what it is. It is what it is, man. Salute to everybody in the building. It's about that time for me, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming up here, Angelo.
Oh, of course.
We had a good time, man. Building both shows. Shout out to Charles Edward Cheese. It's a reunion, family reunion. Cheese was there from the beginning, bro. Cheese was there from the beginning, man. He's seen it in me. He's seen something in me, and he just showed me so much love, bro. So it was great to see Cheese in the building tonight. Salute to Warrior Class, all the color in the chat tonight. Thank you so much. Boxing is in a great space. 154 is lit. Yo, Keith, don't forget, we threw you a kite, bro. Don't take it as an insult, bro.
Yes,
Sleep
we love
on
you.
it.
One time,
Sleep
we love
on
you.
it, bro. At least sleep on it, bro. Don't just make up your mind tonight.
Think
Sleep
about
on
the
it, bro.
Pacquiao.
And tell me what you think, bro. Tell me what you think, man.
Real quick, guys. So Clay might do it. If he decides to do it tomorrow, Clay, it's going to be noon your time. I'll send you the link for the preliminaries, and then the main card will be in the afternoon your time. So it'll be like closer to 2 o'clock your time.
I might do it and I might not. You said closer to noon? I might not, because I might be working tomorrow. I don't know.
So if Clay does do it, the fight that we're talking about is it's Kieran Conway versus George Littard for the British and Commonwealth middleweight championship.
Does this start over here on my side?
The main event fight will probably be at like 2 p.m. your time, 2:30, maybe closer to 3 p.m. your time. I'm thinking East Coast time. And then the co-main event of that is also pretty good, Clay. It's Jimmy Sains versus Troy Coleman. That's for the English middleweight title at 160. And then it's just a bunch of bangers, man. It's a really good card. And if you're practicing your chops on calling fights anyways, it's one of those type of events that'll be good for you vocally, because you're going to see a lot of action. It's not going to be boring at all. It's going to be a very action.
I'm going to try. We'll see. I don't want to make any promises. I'm definitely going to watch a fight no matter what, but calling it, we'll see, because I might have to save my energy, bro, because calling the fights usually when I'm about done, I'm not trying to drive for hours. You heard?
I hear you.
But I appreciate you, Angelo. Yo, salute to everybody in the building, guys. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't done so. Support the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it. It's that boy Clay's HCP Combat Media Show, man. And at the end of the day, at this point, we out. Oops.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot. Wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans. You don't need to.